皆さんどうも、ライトと申します。Hey everyone, I'm Light and welcome. This is Kanji Café, a kanji course starting from 1 till 2500. We are now at 221 and we'll be doing the next 20. There's a free video course in the playlist, you can check that out. Or if you want this resource, you can get the PDF, the Anki flashcard files, or the actual physical spiral book in the description if you want to self-study. And mnemonics, very important, especially for visual learners and not endlessly writing them out every day. And please keep in mind learning context, so keep reading. And a good thing for the learning in context is to get the Anki Decks, also in the description, to keep reading and doing a bit every day. Now, going on with 221, the English meaning for this is field, and we've already covered on the left side, this is village, right? And then on the right side, this means this is new. So at the top, already covered and new mnemonics within the kanji, and at the bottom, we are covering the actual mnemonic for the presented kanji. So the right side, previously, beforehand, that's the meaning of that, and we memorize it by saying previously filmed by camera. So the ma over here is a camera. You can see this straight line here, it's kind of mounted on the wall with a camera over there. And the one hook arm, so one hook arm and leg, one hook leg person. So this one hook arm and one hook leg person has a camera and previously filmed us, right? And it's going to get much easier going forward. This is pretty a very common kanji. And the mnemonic for the kanji reads, village was previously just a field. It makes perfect sense, right? Next we have wheat, barley. So wheat, at the top we have 1, 2, 3 over there, and we have here ta in katakana, ta, crossing its legs, right? And the mnemonic reads that crossing legs sitting, watching 3 wheat growing upwards over here. Good, simple. Next is pretty interesting, very, very, very fun mnemonic. We have long, and we start off by saying this is the letter E at the top. This is 1, kanji for 1. At the bottom we have a hugger with pointy shoe. So this is the pointy shoe, the leg with a pointy shoe standing out over there. And then we have the 2 strokes here representing the arms stretching out and hugging. Can you see? Right? A hug with open arms, right? So Mr. E has a long neck over there on his shoulders, stands on pointy shoe, hugging everyone. So he has a long neck. That's what it comes to, right? Good. Next, you can see we have 2 very similar kanji, and let's quickly cover them. Now, at the top, we have sun and day. These 2, right? And how do you get to gate? Now, 2 gates open, so 2 gates open up to let the sunlight in from both sides, here and here, and these are the gates. And with a doorstop at the bottom right. There's the doorstop. Next we have between and time period. And we have the gate previously used over here, so the gate, and then we have day and sun also in the center. And the mnemonic reads, the sun shines between the gate during the daytime for a time period. Right? Just imagine the gates are open, and maybe in a Western movie the gates are open, the sun is in the center, shines in for a time period, so between the gate. Very simple. And just like that, we covered 5 mnemonics. Next, snow. We've already learned rain, and this is snow, so it rains at the top, snow. E turns to the left to sweep. This is basically sweeping up this, or sweeping the snow, right? So very easy. We have cloud. See, it's very similar. The top parts is kind of giving you the hint of it's something to do with the weather, the rain. And if you look at the radical, it's saying rain and rain, which is kind of a hint about the kanji's meaning. And we say we have rain over here, and 2, kanji for 1, 2, and over here it looks, the mu in katakana over here, it looks like a nose or a chair. Now we've previously used both, so it looks like a nice chair, right, you can sit on. And the mnemonic reads, before it rains, 2 noses can smell the clouds, or the cloud. And a lot of insects, you know, they can sense the weather. Before it rains, 2 chairs, sitting on 2 chairs, watching the clouds. You can make your own mnemonic if you desire so to do so, which is, you know, whatever is best for you is probably the best option. But this is still very, very easy. You can see the next one as well, like we have rain at the top, rain, rain, and they're all the radical. And you'll never forget this kanji after this mnemonic, I hope, because at the top we have rain again. We have the rice field, which is basically that part without the bottom, and then, not basically, which is that, rain at the top, on the rice field, causes lightning, so the sharp L, to turn into electricity. So the bottom also looks like an outlet. Very easy. Next, it looks complicated, but it's pretty easy if you have memorized the previous kanji. And on the left we have bean. So 1 mouth eats 2 beans growing from the ground. And then at the right we have a shellfish at the bottom, right? This is a shellfish. And then we have 1 at the top with this connection, also like the neck. So we call this a big shell radical. So it's not a shell anymore, it's a big shell because it's kind of popping out its head. So it sticks out head to appear bigger. Now the mnemonic reads, we want to get to head. The shellfish sticks out 1 head to eat the beans. See, it's sticking out the head to eat the beans. Head. Great. Next, again, the same kanji on the right side, and that's also the radical. So again, we have the big shell on the right. At the top here we have to stand, including this bottom stroke, and we have a flat cliff. This is a flat cliff over here, 1, 2, and then we have 3 hairs, 1, 2, 3. The mnemonic reads, big shell on the right, standing at the top on the flat cliff, with 3 hairs waving in its face. 1, 2, 3 in its face. Standing, you can see the 3 hairs waving in its face, hanging down. It's kind of like a long hair, big shell, right? Good, pretty simple. We're halfway. Next 5. This is very common, so memorize this, please. We have the whoop. So the whoop is over here, the whoop, and then we have the insect, kanji for insect over here inside. We've already covered these. And wind. So the mnemonic reads, wind looks like a sharp N over here, the wind over. So the wind whoops, insect. So just imagine there's an insect with this whip from the wind going over the insect, right? Good. Next we have to eat or food, and at the bottom we have good, meaning good. Now we call this Mr. Sunny because this is sun or day. Mr. Sunny, it actually looks like a person, right? With the head, the body, the hug, the hair. So Mr. Sunny is always good with one hair standing up, poing, ready for a hug with pointy shoe again. And then at the top we have a roof, 1, 2. You can follow the stroke order, and it's pretty simple. The red dot indicates where you start. And the mnemonic reads, a good roof sells good food. And that to you may be a restaurant where you can eat, to eat, selling food, so food. If you look at the vocabulary, taberu, so to eat, chōshok, breakfast, right? So pretty simple. Great. Next, eyes at the bottom. We've done this before, and the mnemonic reads upside down person with 2 feet, 1, 2, in the air, has to bend neck. So this is the hands or the body over here. Bend the neck, center whip stroke, to put eyes on the floor. So it literally looks like an upside down person with the neck over here bending, right? Very simple. Horse, you will never forget horse again if we cover this mnemonic. So just first you have to think of the katakana for ki is inside here, right? Pretty simple. So ki, standing straight in 5. Here's the number 5 over here. Can you see? Over here, it's number 5. So ki standing straight in the number 5 with the curly tail over here at the bottom with 4 legs, 1, 2, 3, 4, is a horse. Very, very simple. Ki in 5, curly tail, 4 legs, horse. Good. Don't confuse this with bird, tori, right? And then the next one we have high, tall, expensive, and at the top we have a lid. We've covered this before, and we have a mouth, and then here we have an upside down box over here, poing, 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 and then inside we have the mouth, and this we call a moustache. It looks like a moustache, right? And how you memorize this is the lid on the mouth, so the lid on the mouth and moustache over here, this whole part, bottom part. So he stops speaking about how tall and how expensive he is. Just imagine you putting a lid on the mouth and the moustache so that the person can stop bragging, speaking how tall and expensive he is. Good. Now the last 5, if I remember correctly, we'll be doing that's correct. The last 5. Fish. So we've already covered the top, which is knife or sword, which is like a sharp letter N. It looks like a pocket knife over here. And a rice field, and at the bottom fire. You can see this as, depending on the kanji, fire, legs, kind of spilled beans and such. But you'll know the meaning if you look at the rest of the kanji. And we say at the top, cut the food in the rice field. So you cut the food in the rice field to feed 4 fish. 1, 2, 3, 4 fish waiting. Fish. Next, bird. This is very easy. So we have white at the top over here, and we have at the bottom, we see this as, this means actually fire, but it looks like 4 bird seeds. So at the top, the mnemonic reads white, long neck, whew, bird, with curly tail over here. Calls family with hand. Here's the hand calling. So the head, right? Calls the family with a hand reaching out to eat the seeds. Now this is a bird. Good. And you can see there's also a 5 in here. So you can see it's kind of like 5 birds. You can also do that. But I like to say, this bird is like calling the family to come and eat the seeds on the floor. Next, we have the same kanji for bird on the right side. And on the left, we have mouth. So to make a sound of an animal, right? The mnemonic reads, a bird with a mouth makes the sound of an animal. Straightforward. Next to, I made this kanji to stick, not to be pretty, so bear with me. We have rice field over here. We have 8 at the bottom, looks like a splash. And at the top we have 2, 1, 2, with 2 vertical strokes over here. And it looks like a fence. We call this a fence. And the mnemonic reads, to get to yellow, someone behind the upper fence urinating, so the line over here, on the rice field. So it splashes yellow. Okay, good. Next, the last one of this of the 20. We have village at the top, fire at the bottom, and to get to black you can just imagine it's village burns down, turning black. Good. Now that is the episode for now. If you want the resource, please check the description below. Kanji Café Book 2 will also be released very soon. Thank you so much for the support, and I'll keep the episodes up and coming. またね。